Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV. Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am Sanut Olakumi Ajikade. First here the major headlines. Fuel crisis looms over Buhari regime's new tax policy. Marketer 1. Court orders INEC to resume voter registration. Nnamdi Kanu demands 20 billion naira compensation. Apologies from Malami. I am mythologist, don't need any religion, says by Wole Soyinka. Mother killed on Al-Mustafa order. Ekiti principal, teachers, nurse abducted. Community launches rescue. Armed herdsmen declare war on Enugu communities. Kill many residents, sack more villagers. 11 die of food poisoning in Benue state. Now in foreign. Burkina Faso recruit 30,000 people, arming volunteers to fight terror. And lastly, on sports, Saudi Arabia shock Messi led Argentina 2-0. 2-1. Now hear the news in details. The Depot and Petroleum Product Marketers Association of Nigeria, DAPMAN, on Tuesday expressed concern over the new 0.5% tax on gross turnover of the petroleum marketing firms proposed by the federal government. Olufemi Adewale, the executive secretary DAPMAN, said at the maiden edition of the Platform African Continental Forum in Lagos that the tax will put many firms out of the business. Mr. Adewale said there were indications that a fuel distribution crisis may soon aid the country if the government implemented the new tax regime. It was emphatic that more than half of the fuel marketing firms in Nigeria will close down if the tax burden was slammed on them. According to him, the immediate closure of businesses threatened the smooth distribution of petroleum products across the country. The petroleum marketing firms' trading margin is too small that they cannot pay such an amount to stand. Petrol marketers operate a very low margin, but the turnover is very huge. Unfortunately, the margin does not correspond with the turnover. A federal high court Abuja on Tuesday ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to immediately rescue the continuous voter registration until 90 days before the 2023 general elections, and directed INEC to ensure that eligible Nigerians were not deprived the opportunity to have their voters card for the forthcoming poll. Justice Eko held that it was the constitutional responsibility of the electoral umpire to make adequate provision for the exercise in accordance with the Nigerian laws. The case of the plaintiff succeeded on merits, the judge declared. The new agency of Nigeria reported that Anaja Salmat and 3 others are sued INEC are sole defendants in a suit marked. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has demanded 20 billion naira as compensation from the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami. Kanu demanded compensation following alleged defamatory and libelous claims against him. Speaking through his special counsel, Aloy Ejimako, the IPOB leader, said Malami's claim that he jumped bail despite a court order claiming him was libelous. Recall that the military has invaded Kanu's premises at Isiama Afaruko Ibeku, Abia State on 10 September 2017, and this led to him fleeing the country. The alleged invasion was contested and tied in violation of Kanu's fundamental human rights. But the court ruled that the invasion was unlawful, illegal, and unconstitutional. Speaking on the issue, Malami was quoted as saying, "To release or not to release, Nnamdi Kanu is a function of law and the rule of law for that matter." It saw these are the public presentation of this 2-volume collection of essays on Sunday that Nobel lecturers Professor Wole Soyinka has described himself as a mythologist, saying he does not have a need for any religion and does not worship any deity. Soyinka admitted that he is a mythologist and also believes that people have a right to create myths around themselves based on their experiences. He said, "Do I really need one religion? I have never felt I needed one. I am a mythologist. I believe that people have a right and cannot have been creating mythologies around themselves, around their experiences about what they project from the inner recesses of their minds as answers to questions. And so I found nothing wrong with utilizing mythologies as part or parcel of my creative wheelhouse." The children of the late Kudirat Abiola has maintained that their mother was killed on the order of the presidential candidate of the Action Alliance, Major Hamza Ali Mustafa. Kafila Abiola, in a statement on behalf of Kudirat's children, was reacting to a statement attributed to Ali Mustafa, where he claimed that Vice President Yemi Osinbajo called Sergeant Dabila Memshola, aka Sergeant Rogers, to implicate him, Al Mustafa, during the 1998 Oputa panel. At the panel, Sergeant Rogers confessed to have taken part in the assassination under Al Mustafa's order. Though Al Mustafa was sentenced to death by Ange in 2012, he was later released by a court of appeal in Lagos State. However, in a recent interview published by Sarara reporters, Al Mustafa had claimed that Osinbajo then was the Attorney General of Lagos, coached Sergeant Rogers on what to say to incriminate Ali Mustafa. Reacting to the interview, Kudirat Abiola's children said in a statement made available to the Punch on Tuesday, "Our attention has been drawn to a recent statement made by the Major Hamza Ali Mustafa." Gunmen on Monday kidnapped 4 persons along Okeapo-Irele Road in the Ajoni Local Council Development Area of Ekiti State. Sources said the victim included the principal of a secondary school in the area, 2 teachers and a nurse with a primary health care center who were returning home at the close of work. The Punch learned that the kidnappers waylaid the 4 persons and whisked them to the forest, leaving the principal's vehicle on the road. A source of Relay Ekiti said, "There is anger in the LCDA here. This kidnapper incident and attacks are worrisome. Nobody is sure of his safety again. We need help. Something has to be done urgently to guarantee the security of our people in the old streets, farms, and the roads." Armed ex-males had declared war in our Amufu community in Isi Uzo local government area of Enugu State, as they killed many and sacked more villages on Tuesday morning. Zara reporter had reported that the armed ex-men had invaded Aguamedi community on Saturday and on Monday, killing no fewer than 10 people, including women and children. It had been reported that the invading elders also wounded many and sacked villages and burnt houses. Zara reporters had earlier reported that the armed ex-men had sacked over 14 local villages in Aguamede and Iboji communities since the second quarter of 2021. It was also reported that so many people were killed with properties worth millions of naira destroyed. Also, many people, including children, have been kidnapped by same armed herdsmen who used Benue State as launching pad of ransom. No fewer than 11 persons died of food poisoning in Nikobe's community, Upper local government area of Benue State. It was gathered that the victims lost their lives after consuming food that was contaminated with harmful chemical. According to the source in the area, those who died from the last Monday in the tragedy in a phase of 1 week included Adiale Oshifire Ojo, Maria Ojo, Aipo Oshifije, and Aboyi Oshifije. Others are Mary Okoyoda and Eyi Abu, Blessing Abu, Peace Oshoyoda, Ojosono Daniel, and Favor Edo. The source who spoke on conditional anonymity disclosed that while 6 of the victims died in 1 day, 5 others died a few days after. Now on foreign news. Burkina Faso has launched a drive to recruit 50,000 civilian defense volunteers. Among them, volunteers for the defense of the homeland. The men and the women are on a mission to protect the people and property of their localities of origin alongside the defense and security forces. The last elected president was deposed after he faced the wave of anger over the insurgency. According to Professor Zakaria Sow, the army is adjusting tactics to swell its ranks. Burkina Faso has been grappling with a jihadist insurgency which has continually extended its deadly grip, called for civilian backup in October. And lastly, on sports. Saudi Arabia, in a shocking performance, that defeated World Cup favourite Argentina 2-1 in a display of resilience on the ongoing 2022 World Cup in Qatar. After a dominant first half, Argentina failed to secure all 3 points after having 2 goals conceded before the halftime whistle. 7-time Ballon d'Or winner Lionel Messi scored the only goal of the match of his side through a penalty in the first 10 minutes of the match. Both Messi and Lautaro Martinez had their goals cancelled after a far intervention for all sides in the build-up. The Saudi Arabia side turned the game around immediately after the second half resumed with Saleh accurate goal, 48 leveling up with Argentina, and Saleh Adouassi 53 minutes winning goal. Saudi Arabia's keeper in a stunning performance stalled all possible goals from the opposition up until the final whistle. Argentina had their 36 games unbeaten run come to a shocking end by the Middle Eastern nation. And that concludes the world news for this hour. But before we go, here's some of the major headlines once again. Fuel crisis loans over Buhari regime's new tax policy. Marketer 1. Calls orders INEC to resume voters registration. Nnamdi Kanu demands 20 billion naira compensation. Apologies from Malami. And mythologists don't need any religion, said by Wole Soyinka. So join us on all our social media handles, on Facebook as Gbagedemo with Alawi Adebayo. Follow us there and share the page. And on Instagram as Gbagedemo_22. Follow us there and share the page as well. And on YouTube as Baba Gbagedemo TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on your post notification bell. And for the placement of your advert, call the number showing on the screen. Thanks so much for always listening to our news on BGI TV. I am Sanut Olakomi Ajikade. Bye for now.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million. Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI.